Here comes another trading strategy for you. This time we're talking about how you can make $1,000 a day and make it easy. Sounds a little complicated, but stay with us, guys. Here's what we're going to talk about coming up in this video. A structured strategy. It may sound a little complicated, but stay with me on this. We have to find structured strategies to make this play out. Ongoing funding. Yeah, there will be some funding of the account involved, and also we're going to talk about how to utilize dividends. But let's get started first off and maybe walk us through the math portion of this, because we have to understand how the numbers work. Neil's going to talk about how that happens.
Yeah, we had an interesting strategy video that we did before, which was more about turning X amount of dollars into Y amount. And I think for the trading strategy, it can be a little bit similar. But in this particular case, like, you have a daily goal that you want to be able to hit. And we're going to start with a $500 trading account like we did last time. And you're going to have a daily goal that you want to hit of making $1,000 a day. But here's the other catch. We also want this to be realistic in the terms of putting some money away, which every trader should always do. So a couple of things, going to jump right into a spreadsheet because that's what we do with math. And if we can go like full screen on this, just so you can quickly see, we're going to start with a $500 initial account here, guys. And then here's the assumptions for that trading strategy. And we'll get into it a little bit here. You're going to trade 4 days a week. So one day you're going to have a zero gain. Either likely means you don't trade, take it off. It's a no trade day. And you're going to win about 4.5%. Well, you could say 5%, but I'm going to give it a little bit of leeway. So instead of making 5%, you're looking at 4.5% returns. On your best days, instead of 10%, you're making 9%. And then instead of losing 10%, let's give you some slippage to an 11% amount. So you turn that 500, it goes to 530 within a week. And then what's happening is every single month, I'm going to cheat here by making it every single 4 weeks, and we start with the 5th week here, just to simplify the math. You're going to add another 500 to that account, assuming that you have $500 that you save away, and you're going to fund that account, and then you're going to continue to reinvest that amount. When you get to the end of the quarter, you're even going to be able to pull out, when you have 3,100, you're going to be able to pull out $2,000. Start again, instead of with 500, you're going to start with $1,100, and then I want you to put that 2,000 into some kind of dividend returning account, guys, and then you go through that process right through. Again, we follow that all the way through. You get to the end of a year, and then in the first quarter of the final year, you're going to start to actually see when you make that 4.5% gain, 23,000 to like a 24,000 here and change. You can then achieve about $1,000 a day with that 4.5% gain. And by that time, this is a year and a quarter, you've set aside about 10 grand in your dividend paying account. Now, a few assumptions with this that are obvious. You're trading and looking for opportunities every single day, which is not an easy thing to do. You're getting very good day trading returns. Again, not an easy thing to do. I would actually be almost more aggressive in terms of how much you put in that dividend paying account. That would simply make it longer before you're able to make that 1,000 a day, because if you stretch that out to 4 or 5 years, you could be saving a much larger sum of money, guys. So the important thing here is you have to have these sort of hard rules and very, very positive return trades. It does allow you to be taking money out, but you really, and the math doesn't work here unless you are constantly funding that account. So yes, you start with 500, but every single month, you are putting another 500 into that account and then still trading it aggressively, while every quarter pulling a little something out for the long term, guys. That's how you want to do it. The question becomes, what trading strategy can get you those types of returns to allow all of this to work, Sean?
Hey guys, this is so the math works, but the hard part really is the strategy. And I mean, look, we've back tested a lot of different strategies, and as you watch us here live trade every single day, the number one strategy that continues to be the most profitable, where you can look for this 5 to 10% a day type of return, is really just, for me, it's these breakouts off of pre-market highs and pre-market lows. So, I mean, and you got to look for, so there's that, not just breakouts from pre-market high, pre-market lows, but you got to find stocks that are going to move. And lately it's been AMC. So we're going to do a little bit of, I mean, it's kind of easy pickings here because AMC's moving, but the same point is, you have to find stocks. There's Carver today, there's Alphi, there's Neo moves on pre-market breaks all the time. So you got to look for the right volume volume scanners, you got to go watchlist.TraderTV.Live. I put out a sticky note. You guys got to do your own research and find names that are moving. So that's the first thing. You can't just always say, oh, I'm going to look at General Electric today and try to make that 5%. That's probably not going to move 5%. So you got to find movers. And I'm just going to go back-to-back days right here. This is a 40 cent. So you find the pre-market levels. So you can see AMC moving here in the pre-market, 49 down to 47.50 and bouncing around. Then you get that market open right here at 9:30. This is a 1-minute chart. So what you're looking for is just pre-market breaks, either to the upside or to the downside. The first move here is to the downside because, again, the market already opens up and we already break that level. So now you're looking not for these levels. You're looking for some consolidation. We have a firm bottom here. This is where the short happens. So you're going to go short here, 47. And as you can see, it does go down to that 43. That's $4. That's your 10%. Okay, well, maybe we're just making that easy. It worked yesterday, so let's just go over to today. Another example today. So you have the pre-market levels right here, right? Here's a pre-market high right about here on this level. So we could draw a line at about 41. And if you want to get even more specific, it would be this level right here at $42. What you're going to do is wait for that break. As soon as you break the pre-market high, then it's time to go long and you wait for that 4 or 5% upside or to the downside. The same thing can be said right here, right? You're waiting for that pre-market break to the low. If you hit that, you're going to go short 39.50. It only goes down to 38.50, right? So that's $1 and change out. So you're going to say, well, that would be loser. But remember, part of this game is also to be patient. If you don't get that 4 or 5%, then you just get out on that same level that you got in on. Neil's spreadsheet showed it's not going to be every single day. There are going to be some days where you have losers. Let's go over to Carver real quick here, guys, and just show you another one. We knew this was going to be a mover today, this Carver. Why? It's not only is it on our watch list, it was a mover yesterday. We had a little bit of movement here in the pre-market from $11 into these pre-market levels, 17, 18, 19. So we already come in and you're almost up 60, 70%. So we know we want to see this. Look at this pre-market high. 20, 20, 50. You take that breakout. These are all halts, but you can take it on the halt upside. This is going to go more than your 4, 5, 10%, right? But again, you can get out for your 5 or 6, 10% there, put that in your pocket and move on to something else. So for me, it's pre-market breakouts or breakdown. But the important thing is, if it doesn't go, you got to exit your trade at the same level you got into to preserve some of that capital, Brendan.
All right, great explanation of both a strategy in this case and also of the math that we need to follow, guys. The other portion here that we talked about right at the start is going to be taking some of that money out on a monthly basis, paying yourself, and putting that money back to work. So it's making income off of dividends. So, Neil, you're going to run through just a basic idea when it comes to utilizing dividends.
Absolutely. Look, and the other part is an important one too, Brennan, when it comes to that funding, because if you want to continue to do the explosive strategies that Sean's talking about, continuously funding that account so that you're a little more confident to increase the amount that you're risking every single month is important. And if you're doing that, I will tell you this right now. If you are employing this kind of trading on a daily basis, the ability to trade the same way when you have 500 in capital as opposed to when suddenly you're putting like $4,000 to work or 10,000 in capital to work. It's all about your bankroll when it comes to confidence as a trader. So this is why within that strategy, every quarter you're taking money out. And look, I'm just going to show you something very simple here. Like there's a million different dividend funds out there. Maybe you find a stock that you're really comfortable with. I just happen to show Verizon because it's a popular one. 4.5% dividend yield. When I give that conservative 1 and change percent quarterly return, there's lots of ways to get that type of return, and people can give you a million ways to do it, but I want you to set aside and just be conservative. That's the idea. You invest in something with a stable dividend that is not going to be too volatile so that you have the peace of mind here. And I'm not saying it has to be Verizon. There's a few good names out there. Look, Chevron if you like the energy space, or there's dividend yielding funds like the S&P has one as well. So it doesn't matter necessarily which one you choose there, but set it away. Because the only way you are ever going to, for most traders, that you're going to be able to trade the same way on 500 as you do with 4,000, with 10,000, is if you have that bankroll and that safety net, and you're building that safety net in the back of your mind. That is going to give you that confidence. A professional poker player, they build up that caddy, so if they go to the casino one day and lose a bunch of money, they know that they have that base. And if you're not constantly adding to that base to grow your confidence as the numbers get bigger and bigger, it's going to be very difficult through months and years down the line to continue that scalability while trading these volatile assets, guys. So key thing here, make sure you fund that account so that you're continuously able to return those investments in and trade larger, but set aside that money into something stable so that you guys have that safety net to backstop this style of trading.
So once you make that formulaic type idea into something that you can utilize on an ongoing basis, it becomes, something that is not that complicated overall. Yes, the math is huge, but once we have that formula to follow, then it's something that is definitely attainable. A fantastic idea when it comes to, and a basic idea when it comes to the strategy as well. But there we go. A look at how we can take, basic strategy that, when put with the right math, can make you guys $1,000 a day. Here's Valeria.
Hey guys, thank you for this informative content. Dear viewers, please subscribe to this channel to see more great videos.